When faced with a scale pattern covering the entire fretboard, it's difficult to see how you might navigate the pattern quickly and fluidly from one end of the neck to the other. Scale patterns give you a roadmap, but they don't show you the logistics of how to navigate it smoothly from point A to point B. This lesson will show you some ways in which you can negotiate these larger scale patterns musically and efficiently. The forms we're about to look at are also great warm-up and speed building exercises. In these examples, you'll see the interval pattern at the top and the fingering pattern below it. Let's start with the major scale, because once you learn this pattern, you'll automatically know its 6 additional modes. More on modes later. For this example, I'm using G major, but remember the patterns you see are movable and can be positioned on any root. When learning scales, you'll typically be taught what are known as 3 notes per string patterns. For example, while these patterns allow you to play the scale reasonably fast, you're only covering a relatively small area of the fretboard across 2 octaves. But we can extend this run sequence to reach the 3rd octave and beyond. All we do is adjust our fingering slightly. Start by playing up the 3 notes per string pattern on the 6th and 5th strings as usual. Now move your index finger to the previous note in the sequence and play another 3 notes from there. This shift in our finger formation is what will allow us to extend these 3 notes per string patterns towards the higher frets. We've now arrived at our 1st octave. Practice this index finger shift until you can play it comfortably and cleanly, whether you use hammer-ons or alternate picking. Continuing the sequence to the 2nd octave, this time our 3rd finger gets in on the action. Now try connecting the 1st and 2nd octave sequences. Don't forget to work down the sequence as well, using both pull-offs and alternate picking. Finally, connect the 2nd and 3rd octaves. This is our basic extended root pattern. Not only are these great speed and dexterity building exercises for your fingers, but they also allow you to target specific notes in the scale many frets from your starting position. We can also add repetitions to our runs to give us more melodic mileage. Take this natural minor pattern. We can use a repeating sequence on each set of 3 notes as follows. Now, you don't have to do a full run from the 6th to 1st string or vice versa. These large forms can be broken down and used to connect other phrases and licks. For example, here I connect two simple G major licks with a run from part of the sequence we learned earlier. Here's the first phrase. And here's the second. The blue lines indicate a slide. Now let's link them together. So once you've worked on these larger patterns, practice combining them with more improvised, articulated phrases. We can also skip notes as we move through the scale to create different sounds, such as this major pentatonic sequence with an absent sixth. And this descending Phrygian dominant form, again with an absent sixth. We're still in G major for this example, but I've moved up the fretboard as we're landing on the third of the scale. In all of these examples, we've been able to navigate scales in a fluid and musical way across large areas of the neck. The great thing is, once you learn these forms in several keys, you can pull them out of the bag when you need them, both when writing and improvising solos. Visit the lesson page for more of these examples with detailed diagrams and speed building exercises using other common scales. Cheers.